everyone, thanks for tuning in to Moving the Chains with Ashmere here on Nuts and Bolts Sports. It's time to wrap up some college football, NFL, and not fantasy because I lost. So let's start with Georgia versus South Carolina Gamecocks, which is a very strange mascot. I'll put a little photo up so you can see what a gamecock is. It's kind of funny, but not really. Anyway, so Georgia was upset and lost 20-17. And Jake Fromm, I don't want to say is the main reason for the losses, but he did have 4 turnovers, 1 fumble, 1 pick six. He was all over the place. He didn't really seem level-headed during the entire game, and that is definitely because the South Carolina defense came at him hard. Like they were ready to play against this number 3 team, which is not 3 anymore. South Carolina did a great job. Their quarterback was injured early on, so they had to replace him with the 3rd-string quarterback who was like kind of still recovering from a hamstring injury. So there was just a lot of like, not doubt, but like a little bit of uncertainty with the offensive line. But, you know, he pulled through and came through with the win. There were 2 opportunities that South Carolina could have definitely knocked the game out, and 1 opportunity on a 33-yard field goal, which their kicker, Parker White, missed, and they could have won earlier than the double overtimes. But, you know, that's my 4th and fail of the week for college football. Definitely this kick right here. Could have been sold right here, but that didn't happen, so they had to go into another overtime and seal the deal at the end. So good job for South Carolina. I think Georgia can recover, but definitely Fromm needs to kind of get his head together for the next game. Defenses are going to come at you hard. I feel like this year, NFL, college football, anywhere, defenses are winning games, and so people need to be a little more prepared. The offensive line needs to hold up a little bit, and you know, quarterbacks need to be able to move around. So the next game, of course, we'll talk about is the Ducks, because they beat Colorado, and last week I totally hated on them and said that they needed to play better because Arizona and Colorado was a very good game. But now I'm kind of imagining if the Ducks were to play Colorado and Arizona, I know they're going to play them, but like I'm putting the game that they played in replacement of both of those teams to see how it went, and I feel like the Ducks are going to win against Arizona as well. So they did a great job. I mean, Steven Montez is like one of the top QBs aside from Bo Nix that they've played in the season so far, and they did a great job holding him back. He had 4 interceptions, I'm sorry. So, I mean, the pressure was high for him in Oregon. They're playing in Autzen, and like I mentioned last week, 2016 was the last time they played, and they lost. And Oregon had thrown 2 interceptions themselves, which resulted in touchdowns for the Colorado Buffalo. So there was just a lot of bad memories, I could say, for the Ducks when it came to this team. Herbert did great, 261 yards with 2 touchdowns. The offensive line made a lot of great gaps for the rushing game, so it was just properly put together. And it was a great win. Next week, the Ducks take on the UW Huskies in Seattle. And if you know anything about Oregon, it's like the 2nd biggest rivalry against Oregon State. So Twitter's probably like blowing up with all kinds of different hashtags and things. So that'll be a good game. I'm pretty sure if Oregon stays the way that they are right now and plays well, they'll be able to win. They are missing their tight end, Jacob Breland, who's out for the year now. He was injured early on in the 1st quarter, and that's kind of like a very crucial player for the Ducks to utilize on the offensive line. But I'm sure they'll reorganize their playmaking and get it together, and I hope Breland heals successfully. All right, so let's talk about some NFL games, and the first one I will discuss is the Cowboys versus the Jets game, because that was terrible for the Cowboys. That was crazy. Sam Darnold comes back from having mono, doing who knows what, and he's able to beat the Cowboys in MetLife Stadium. Like, that is something I feel like they're going to remember forever, and the Cowboys are going to be mocked forever because they went from 3-0 to 0-3, and the Jets were 0-4, and now they're have 1 victory against the Cowboys, who's projected to be this amazing team. The defense has to play better, and I feel like the coach has got to go for the Cowboys. It's just, he's not being very creative on the field. It's hard to see Dak spread out and spread his wings and use his creativity as a quarterback to make different plays. And so I just think that's one of the solutions, maybe. Maybe the Cowboys need to have like a little pep talk together, like how Ezekiel went to Mexico for a while. Like maybe they all needed to do that and like clear their heads, because they've got all the key parts to make the Cowboys what they need to be, but for some reason they just fell short. And the Jets defense was able to put up a fight for Dak. He wasn't playing his best. Yeah, Dak had no touchdowns. He had no turnovers, which is great, but Elliott's got their 1 touchdown, and Dak did rush in a touchdown, but he didn't throw any in. Darnold had 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He was playing very well for his comeback game, and I feel like for the Cowboys to compete at the level that they should be at, they need to be playing a lot more cohesively as a team. Defensively, this was poor, very poorly put on. Offensively, there was a lot of mistakes that needed to be adjusted. So the next game, the Cowboys are against the Eagles, and the Eagles did just come off a really tough loss from the Vikings, but I think this will be a close game. Probably under. I would hit the under if I'm betting. And I don't see it being higher than like 21 points from either team. I don't know. You don't think so?
Well,
you think they'll hit the over?
That's bold.
There's no way. I mean, I don't know. Take it or leave it. But I did predict that the Cardinals were going to win against the Falcons, and everybody was shook because Matt Ryan is Matt Ryan. But, I mean, Kyler Murray is not a bad player. So, just telling you my 2 cents, but whatever. Next game we'll go over is Kansas City's back-to-back loss from the Houston Texans. And Mahomes threw his first interception in this game, and I don't really think... There's not a lot of negatives to talk about for the Chiefs offense. It's all about the Chiefs defense. They weren't able to hold up against Watson, and his offensive line held the Chiefs defensive line for a very long time. Like, he was able to think for like 2-3 seconds in the pocket to figure out who he was going to pass to. He also made his quick passes, and Carlos Hyde ran the ball very well. He had over 116 yards, you know. It wasn't that the game was very close the entire time, but it was just more so it fell back on the Chiefs defense. I mean, Houston looks really good. I know they're going to be a strong competitor if they keep playing the way that they are for the rest of the season. And next week they take on they're taking on the Colts. Okay, that's a win, right? Yeah, it's automatic. I think the Texans are going to win against the Colts, even though the Colts beat the Chiefs, but like that was who knows what was going on there. For Kansas City, Mahomes has still got that ankle injury going on. I think it wouldn't be terrible if they sat him on Thursday against the Broncos. I'm just saying, let the guy rest. It's a close game. You know, it's a long season. Personal opinion, personal blog, take it or leave it. But that's just what I think. I mean, I love Mahomes. I like the Chiefs. Don't tell my dad. But I think for him to be as well and succeed in the future, it wouldn't hurt to sit down one game. Fine, don't sit the divisional game. Play Patrick, I guess, because my peers here believe that that's a stupid assumption. Lastly, we'll talk about the Niners a little bit. We'll just touch on them because they are undefeated, and the only undefeated team is the Patriots with like the most elite quarterback of the century with his awesome offensive line. But the Rams look terrible. I don't know. Goff is kind of overrated a little bit. Compared to last year, he was like, him and Mahomes were like equal superstars, and now it's just kind of like dropping. I know Mahomes has just lost back-to-back. I get it, but like he's still able to perform at like a very elite level. He still moves around the pocket. He gets those deep passes down the field, all those things. Goff was just a little bit like shook up. Like the Niners defense really shook him up for real. They played a lot better than they have in the past years. This year it's like one of the top defenses. They sacked him 3 times. Goff, that is. And I just feel like they controlled the entire game. The defense did. And so it was hard to see the Rams even coming back. 20-7, that's like painful to watch. So those are just my recaps. And my fourth and fail for the NFL was definitely the refs from the Green Bay Packers game and the Lions game on Monday night. The 2 missed calls kind of resulted in a Packers win, and I feel like that's something that needs to be reviewed by the NFL because Twitter was going crazy. If you have a Twitter, yeah, that's definitely a fail for me. I think, we need to be better. Not we, because I'm not a ref. But refs need to be better about their play calling and just making sure that they don't let situations like this slip through. That's my one fail of the week. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Check out the Nuts and Bolts website and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate everyone's time, and I won't be here next Tuesday because I am busy, so sorry. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Ay, coming in.